Godzilla vs. Koopzilla was one of my favorite sprite animated movies growing up. Sure, some of the comments I may have left about it may have some people think otherwise, but I really did actually enjoy it. I remember being a little kid, being 13 years old, and just like being so hyped for September 12th because that was the day it was going to be released. In case you don't know, for a little context, Godzilla vs. Koopzilla is a sprite animated movie that was made in 2014 by Swedish animator Fredrik Nilsson. Basically, this movie is a fusion of all the Godzilla movies and the Super Mario Bros. Super Show episode, Koopzilla, where Bowser eats some super sushi which causes him to get really big. The movie opens with Godzilla rising from the ocean and basically terrorizing a town. Some soldiers and some tanks try to do some damage to him, but of course it is all in vain as it does absolutely nothing to him, and everyone dies. The end. We then get this really cool opening sequence that shows Bowser and Godzilla fighting each other and just an overall preview of what's to come. And honestly, I think this is really well done because I love everything from the music choice to the colors to how Bowser jumps from his airship and causes a giant explosion. And that's another thing too. You're gonna notice that there are a lot of explosions in this film naturally because, you know, of what it is, but I can't help but be reminded of Michael Bay movies whenever I watch it because I don't know, it gives me Michael Bay vibes, I guess. After the really cool credit sequence, we're greeted to Bowser's castle. He is inside talking to Jeff and Hal. He tells them to spy on Peach and to basically see what she's up to. And if you're wondering, yes, this does have voice acting in it. Most of the characters are voiced by Fredrik himself, and
he can help you to get closer to the promised and the princess. Understood?
I never was really the biggest fan of the voice acting. I think his Bowser voice is decent, but Hal and Jeff just sound too...
So how are we supposed to complete this mission? So far we screwed up every mission Bowser gave us in one way or another.
Don't worry, I'm sure we'll be fine.
They sound too Swedish, if that makes sense. And I don't mean this in an offensive way, but like, I think it would have been better to just maybe have some other people voice them. And this problem also kind of occurs with Luigi too.
Mario, can you buy a long cock?
We then see Mario at his house where he tells Luigi that they should visit Professor Egad in the Mushroom City because he made a secret weapon that can stop Bowser. Luigi doesn't want to go at first, but Mario convinces him to do some bribing. They go to Peach's castle and tell Peach about the same thing, and she decides to go along as well.
We're not gonna have breakfast this morning? Hello?
Bro, what do you mean? You're the one who rushed out of the house dragging Mario along with you. He didn't have time to make breakfast even if he wanted to. Hal, Jeff, and Steve overhear the conversation. They report back to Bowser, and Bowser, being the hothead he is, gets furious when he finds out about this and tells them to go and make sure that they put a stop to it. Cut to the Mushroom City. While looking for Egad, Peach explains to Mario, Luigi, Blue Toad, and Yoshi, yes, they joined along too, the secret weapon in detail that Professor Egad made. This weapon? The Super Sushi, a food-based weapon that can cause you to grow to a giant size. Godzilla shows up and all hell breaks loose. Amidst the chaos, Princess Peach explains that she actually knows about Godzilla, and they realize that the only way they can defeat Godzilla is by using the Super Sushi. They go to Egad's lab where he reveals how Godzilla got there and the fact that the Super Sushi that he had previously made is unfortunately crushed and is no longer usable. So he'll have to make some more. I will say big props to Egad for not only surviving a fall from what I would imagine is probably, 400 feet, 500 feet high, and also rebuilding his whole lab within the span of, I assume, maybe an hour or so. Big props to you, man. You're the reason why the Luigi Mansion games are so good. Well, that and gameplay. But they also play a quick recording excerpt of Robert Oppenheimer, the creator of the atomic bomb. And I'm only mentioning this because, of course, in the excerpt he mentions the whole "I have become death, destroyer of worlds" line. I'm just mentioning that because I always thought that line was funny. That has nothing to do with the review, but I just always thought that line was just kind of hilarious. And like last time, Hal, Jeff, and Steve overhear the whole entire conversation. They report back to Bowser and let him know everything, and Bowser gets furious because he sees Godzilla as a worthy opponent and as a challenge. Basically, it's this meme right here. Back in the Mushroom City, Mario and Luigi lure Godzilla into a trap, but unfortunately it fails. And just when it looks like things are getting bleak, Bowser shows up with his airships, and they don't really do too much damage to Godzilla, of course, because of how big he is, but they do fair better than the jets and the tanks that were trying to kill him earlier. They even get Lakitu to fly up in there, and
How do you like this? Was there enough for you?
yeah, it doesn't work. Godzilla then takes care of the remaining airships with his atomic breath. Rip to all of the pilots and people who piloted those airships. In fact, now I think about it, I am just now realizing, I've always wondered, who in the world drives these things? This leaves Bowser to his own devices, which leads to arguably one of the best moments in the film in my opinion, where Bowser just one punches Godzilla into a building. At his base form, keep in mind. Honestly, that is really, really cool. Honestly, it gives the same energy as Shadow kicking Silver in the back of the head in Sonic 06. The resulting destruction of the airships also forces Hal, Jeff, and Steve to meet up with the rest of the cast. They realize that the only way they're going to be able to beat Godzilla is if Bowser eats Super Sushi. They go back to Egad's lab where he makes a new batch. Oh my gosh, what did you do to Kirby? He eats it and becomes Koopzilla! Really, they should have eaten the sushi outside though, because like last time, Egad's lab gets destroyed as a result of Bowser becoming too big. There's some Shadow the Hedgehog level dialogue right here. We now finally get to the moment everyone's been waiting for. Godzilla versus Koopzilla. And let me tell you, this fight does not disappoint. Some of the best things about this movie are the action sequences, and this is a perfect example. Buildings are thrown, punches are exchanged, and it even starts raining. Every single scene, every single fighting scene out there is always enhanced by rain. Heck, scenes in general are enhanced by rain, but especially fight ones, so kudos to you, Frederick. Thank you for doing that. We go back to Mario and the rest of the gang who are in Egad's lab, which he somehow, once again, managed to repair in record time as they analyze the fight between Bowser and Godzilla. Excuse me, I mean Koopzilla and Godzilla. I'm not going to disrespect a legend. You cool. Pizza signs are thrown. Yes, there's a Mario pizza sign that gets thrown at Godzilla. How he owns a pizzeria, I have no idea. There's even a moment where Bowser's fire breath clashes with Godzilla's atomic breath, and it is epic. After a brief exchange, they both transform. Bowser transforms into Giga Bowser, and Godzilla transforms into Flaming Godzilla. But the tables turn as Godzilla suddenly becomes super OP and nearly obliterates Bowser. And right as Godzilla's about to kill everybody, in a last-ditch effort, Koopzilla is able to kill Godzilla with his fire breath. So Godzilla got there apparently through a portal that was found in the ocean, which was made by Egad's Portalgeist. They used the Portalgeist to return Godzilla back to where he belongs, Bowser returns to his normal size, and everything is good. There is a cliffhanger to this, but I don't know if it's ever going to get a sequel. That was Godzilla vs. Koopzilla. Overall, it's a solid movie. I liked it when I saw it back when I was 13, and I still feel the same way at 23. I will admit, 13-year-old me was definitely way more nitpicky than current me, but I still overall enjoy it. Wario and Waluigi even appear in this as cameos, and the bits they appear in are really funny. The only major gripe I have with it at this point really is just the writing. The writing is okay, but it could have been better. And what I mean by that is that the writing definitely encapsulates the characters' personalities decently well, but there are times where the subtitles don't always match what the character is saying.
Now we got Godzilla right where I want him.
Fredrik Nielsen, if you didn't know, is definitely a Swedish guy and English isn't his first language, and there were times in the past where I even helped him with some of his DeviantArt posts by like saying, oh hey, you actually should say it this way. I can kind of understand why some of these mistakes will be made, but I still feel it would have been cool if maybe they got some of the other writers on this to maybe proofread it a little more. And also, the line after Bowser defeats Godzilla where he calls him Gojira kind of confused me a little bit because that's the Japanese way of saying his name, so I'm not sure why that was added. But really that's it. I mean, yeah, I love this film. The music selection is also great. I think Fredrik has a really good ear for music. I think he does a really good job always choosing the right appropriate track for whatever situation. So yeah, I'd recommend it if you're a fan of Godzilla and Mario to definitely check this version out. I know he made a new version of it, which I haven't seen yet, and I'll probably see that and do a video. I'll see that at some point and do a video on it if this video gets enough attention. And yeah, actually, I'm gonna give this a solid 2.5 on the what scale. Closer to a 3 than a 2, but overall still really, really good and really amazing. We recommend checking it out. Peace and blessings. Bye.